Ryan, welcome to the Dream Life Club podcast. We are so happy to have you here.
Thank you so much for having me. It is wonderful to be here. This feels so professional.
It's very professional.
Do the Dream Life listeners know anything about our podcast history?
No.
Okay.
So we might have to fill them in.
Yeah, I'll let you decide to what degree we fill them in.
Okay. Well, first of all, how do you pronounce your last name?
Oh God, that's gonna take longer. No, it's just
Then
it's really fast to explain.
Okay, go.
So I pronounce it Gladieux,
Gladieux.
but Gladieux. Soften
Like
it.
you're glad.
I'm just glad you're
Glad you came.
Glad
I'm glad you came today.
No one's ever done that one.
Sorry. That's like me with Sue Me. It's such a
I can't imagine. Exactly.
Good thing you're not a lawyer. And then they think they're really funny. But honestly,
I never thought to say that to you.
You've never said it to me, and I've never said glad you.
No.
To you,
All right.
so,
Cheers to us. Let's not actually cheers
No,
because
why?
we will spill these.
Let's
we will.
challenge ourselves.
Oh God, really? You're just gonna
Oh my God.
cup just.
This is not supposed to be a random catch-up episode.
Sorry.
We wanna
You're right.
know-
You're right.
We
We
want
will
to
do
know
that.
all about your amazing stories.
Okay, so if we're talking about me,
Hmm.
the last name thing, there is actually a tiny bit of a studio-ish tie-in story
Okay,
to that.
tell us.
I got told by a French producer I pronounced my last name
Why does he
wrong.
have to be French?
Because of my last name.
Okay.
It's relevant to the conversation only for two reasons. One, I'm wildly racist, and two, he's French. But I'm only racist to French people.
Oh my God.
Anyway, the story goes. So I was working at Atlantic, and he was a /APG. We can get more into that later.
Yes.
Depending how deep you want to dive.
Yes.
He was a producer signed to the publishing company APG at the studio, and he was French, very French. He was I think he still lived in Paris at the time, or maybe by that time he had moved here. But anyway. And we were chopping it up at the coffee machine. I think I was still an intern then. And he said, somehow, I don't know if it came across him that he'd heard my last name was French. He goes, prepare everyone for my terrible French accent. He goes, Ryan, how do you pronounce your last name? I go, Gladieux. And he goes, oh, you're pronouncing it wrong. I was like, what? And he goes, okay, what is it? He says, it's Gladieux.
Okay.
I go, well, I'm not. First of all, I'm like,
You're not gonna
I talk
suddenly
like
pop
this.
out with that accent.
Not
Yes.
talk exactly. Talk
Right.
like this, and then switch to. But my name's Gladieux. So it's like I'm just gonna say it like this,
Right.
dude. And his response to that was like, "That's fine, but you're pronouncing it wrong."
I love that. I love
Great
that.
guy. I love SoFly, by the way. That's who that. And he's a great dude.
His name is SoFly?
That's his producer name.
Okay.
He goes by SoFly, and he's an awesome dude.
Okay.
So anyway, there's the studio tie-in story to my last name.
Oh my gosh.
So
I
the
love that.
official pronunciation, according to the French producer, is Gladieux.
Okay. Gladieux.
I'm not gonna pronounce it that way though.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's funny because like my last name is Krishnan and it's pronounced Krishnan, but everyone thinks that that's maybe the Americanized version. So they're like,
As you were
is
saying
it-
that, I was thinking, I'll bet that's the Americanized version. The story is going
But
to
it's
become, but it's not.
No, it's
what
Krishnan.
a twist!
It's Krishnan, but then everyone's like Krishnan.
Krishnan, right? And they
Don't
do they do the
just randomly
thing?
roll your
An
R
accent,
and do like
yeah.
a soft A. Like no, it's like you don't just like.
It's like they're looking
think,
for an
like,
excuse to
accent
do a fun voice.
Yes. Oh my God, so funny.
To be fair, that's also because like I have some like there's this writer I work with who she loves complaining about her French. She's half white, half Mexican heritage. And she loves complaining about her friends who are like more who in the way she describes it, wear the more like Mexican side of them. And one of the ways they do that, or she likes poking fun at, is when they like street names in LA. And they'll
Yeah.
speak in a very Americanized accent, but when they get to a street name, it's
Yeah.
they roll every R.
Right.
It's the
Right.
Enyes are there.
Right.
And it apparently annoys the hell out of her. But I think it's just a reason. It's a fun. You get to do a fun voice.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I am so excited to share you with our listeners today because you have so many interesting stories from your career in the music industry, kind of up close and personal to all of like the artists that
Some
we
of them.
know of. Not all, but some.
Some of them, yeah.
Some. With stories that you don't hear every day, right? So tell us a little bit about, first of all, like your background, like when you started in the industry and kind of like your career trajectory. And then I want to like dive into some of the
gosh.
most interesting experiences.
Deal.
Okay.
So I moved out to LA. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I grew up there. And then when I was mid-20s, I moved out to LA with A friend of mine who we were in a band together, music business partner. We'd had a studio, actually. We owned a hip-hop studio in St. Louis. Stop talking with your hands.
Keep talking with your hands.
Keep talking with your hands. Wave them in front of the camera like this. And we moved out to L.A. To, make it music.
Yeah.
We had some friends out here. The whole idea was to, like, plug into this, like, kind of network of friends that we'd had and try and make it. And it was a fun journey of, like, trying different things in LA and learning just how the weird ways to try to break into the industry. All of which, by the way, is becoming insanely irrelevant now. Mm-hmm. My entire experience. I moved out in 09, 08 or 09. I think 09, like summer of 09.
But not really, because you were still inside Atlantic when, like, recently, when a lot of, current day people were popping off. So,
yeah, well, I guess in terms of how I got into the industry, my break. So, so the specific way I kind of got in, coming out to LA, I learned that, wow, there's a lot of false roads into whatever the industry.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
People who say they know things and they don't. People who say they have a connection and it meant nothing. It's people who promise things and they completely fall through. I'm sure you've never run into anyone like that. Ever. What?
Every day.
Yeah, no, I did too. And I still do.
Yeah.
But I was starting to be convinced that the music industry didn't even exist until, and this is going to date me. I guess you could call it, was Twitter.
Okay. Your in was Twitter.
Kind of.
Okay.
Well, that was the mode of communication. So, my dude, my friend who I was in a band with, and we were just playing music together. His girlfriend got introduced to, like, a manager, and we started talking to him, and he was kind of working with us. But the way Twitter comes in is we followed each other on Twitter. He retweeted the head engineer of Atlantic asking about internships.
Oh.
And I saw it.
Okay.
Sent my resume in. He tweeted me back.
Okay.
That's what you did. You tweeted. He tweeted me back the address, and he was like, show up with this. I show up to the Atlantic's not there anymore, but it was this building in Hollywood.
What do you mean Atlantic's not there anymore? Explain to people what you mean by that.
So it was this building in Hollywood that at the time was owned by Babyface's wife, I believe. I don't think Babyface still owned it. And it was the same building that Death Row Records was in the 90s.
Okay.
Iconic building. If you ever saw Straight Outta Compton, the scene where they're strangling Eazy-E, that it's in a studio. That studio, they didn't film in the building in Atlantic, but the place where that actually did happen was that building.
Okay.
Pretty cool background there. Anyway, so I went there to the third floor, that same floor that it happened, for an interview. And by the way, the reason Atlantic's not there anymore is Atlantic, in the end of 2025, killed their entire recording program.
Okay.
So that's why it's not there anymore. It's I think the studio is, but someone else is using it. Anyway, so I show up there the way because of the tweet, in like a suit and tie and like already like I got my resume and stuff.
This was like 2009?
This was probably 9 or 10.
Yeah.
This was probably by 9 or 10. It took me a second to find that. But anyway, I show up there and like it's a bunch of dudes who were like came up from the parking lot high as hell.
Definitely not wearing a suit.
Not wearing suit and ties at all. And like the intern didn't even hear me get off the elevator.
Like our producer right now, Johnny, why didn't you come in here with a suit and tie?
Yeah, what the hell, bro?
Like, what the Anyway,
it's okay. I forget.
He already got the job, so okay.
Oh yeah, but he might have shown up on his first day with a suit and tie.
Did you?
No.
And he still got the job. He must be good. I had to show up in a suit and tie.
Okay.
So anyway, I quickly, the intern who didn't even hear me get off the elevator looked up from his phone and was like, oh, and he gave me oh my god, this guy's in a suit and tie. Look. I was quickly he was like, oh, let me go get JP was the engineer's name. He said, let me go get JP. And the second he left, I took the tie off and tried to loosen the downplay, just rolled the sleeves up. And I thankfully he brought me on as an intern, and I struggled there terribly for 2 years as an intern, as an unpaid intern.
Oh wow! How'd you make ends meet?
I worked other jobs. Mm-hmm. I worked a bunch of terrible, awful jobs. The last one I had before I got hired as an engineer. Mm-hmm. Was picking up trash at a car dealership.
Wow. Okay, you've done everything. Okay.
I started picking up trash. I eventually got promoted to. I was running shipping and receiving for the parts department.
Oh hey.
Before I left, it was pretty cool.
No,
actually, there was a point in my life where I had to decide. The head of the parts department literally came to me. This was about a month or two before I actually got offered the engineer job. He was like, Ryan, you're pretty good at this. You want to come on full time here? We got good benefits. You make something work here. I'm just saying. And I literally went home. I was like, I don't know. It's kind of cool. You get benefits.
You got a salary.
You get a salary.
Yeah.
I'm poor as hell right now.
Right.
I did not take it, and thankfully, within like not too long after that, I ended up getting. However, my income went way down when I got hired as an engineer.
Interesting. And you were working like real long hours, I'm sure.
Oh, engineer hours. So then I'm like, oh, I'm an engineer now, but yeah, your hours are. Before I was an engineer, you would get up at like 7 a.m. to go work at wherever it was, and then you'd get off at like.
Wait, who had like morning sessions? Why were you in there?
No. So I'd go work the other jobs.
Oh,
as an intern, I'd go work the other jobs.
Okay.
Come and do. My internship would start at like 6.
Okay.
And then I'd be there till like 3, 4 in the morning.
Oh,
and then
wow.
do it all again.
Okay. Because you were in the hip hop rap.
We did a lot of
side
pop.
of the-
we
you
did
did
a lot
pop.
of pop and hip hop there.
Okay.
And yeah, hip hop sessions. I mean, listen. The music industry, I shouldn't say the music industry, the recording world tends to run late, mainly because of artists, regardless of what genre in, because they perform at night. So they're on tour, starting their work at 7, 8, 9 p.m. They're not they're not in bed by 11.
Yeah.
So they get off tour and they come to studios, and they're kind of, even if they're not starting their sessions at 7, things tend to run late. So transitioning into that from like a real world job was, honestly, for me, I loved it. Because like that was
It's more of a fun schedule.
I was a night person. I still am. I always was. So the recording world kind of was like, I feel creative. I feel energized after the sun goes down.
Yeah.
Are you that way?
I am, actually. I
go.
am. But I feel like I'm constantly fighting that because I feel like the most productive artists are actually morning people. Like the people who...
Really?
I don't know, because like they...
Productive people do tend to be morning people.
Right, productive
Seems
people in
that way.
general. And
I'm jealous of that.
really why, but... Because you could have the same amount of hours, but like moving them up, right? I think it's maybe the discipline that it takes. Like, I do think that if you are
I'm giving
a
into
late night
laziness
person,
when I stay up.
I think so a little bit, right? Like the late night person, you have more like wiggle room on your time because you're like, it kind of all gets wavy late at night. Like you're like, there's no rush. I don't know, maybe. So.
Yeah, I enjoy that, but yeah, that people more
Right.
disciplined may.
I kind of enjoy it.
Gym,
like, I know, I really enjoy it too, though. It's a struggle.
But it's worth it.
I think.
Good for you. So
didn't
I'm
even
sitting here very
answer.
jealous of you. Good for you.
I
Good
didn't
for
even
you.
answer.
No, tell me more that I can be jealous.
Oh my God, we won't be jealous of this.
Okay, go. Great.
All right. So I feel like part of this is like, as an artist, you have to take such fucking good care of your body because it's your instrument.
Yeah.
And
Also,
like,
just let's not discount living in LA.
well, living in
The
LA
pressure
and that like
that I
aesthetics
feel.
of it all. but literally, like, like this past month, I went to Coachella and then I went to Summit at Sea, and then I was in studio last week recording some new music, and then on Sunday I woke up, and if my voice sounds kind of weird right now, it's because it is.
I think you sound great.
As of Sunday, it hurts when I swallow. And I'm not sick. Like, I'm not sick
I was gonna
at
say,
all. I have no symptoms of being sick. It doesn't feel like a sore throat. It's this
No,
other
but you've been using your
weird-
voice a lot.
It's this other weird kind of like, what the hell? Like, it hurts when I swallow a lot, like really bad.
Uh-oh.
And so I went to the ENT
Good.
yesterday.
I was just gonna.
And she's like, oh, yeah, you have a nodule, but thank God it's not on your vocal cords. It's on the cartilage above your cords. But, like, that's why that every time you swallow, it's, like, rubbing against your whatever, larynx everywhere, and it makes sense that it hurts. And she's
So
like,
what's
it's just going
gonna-
to take some time. And she also prescribed some, like, acid reflux meds. She was like, it may have been some of that. It may have been overuse. Let's just give it some time. And I'm like, no, like, this fucking sucks. It hurts. Can't really, like, operate normally. Like, I feel really, like, tired because I think it's psychosomatic. It's like I don't have any other symptoms of being sick, of course, but you feel when something's wrong with your body, it like affects your whole energy, I think,
Absolutely.
And it hurts like every time you swallow, and then you realize how much you swallow.
I'd be curious. I would
when
love.
you're not eating.
I wish we could run an experiment where there's a version of you that never gets told you have that nodule, and then we could watch you side by side with the version of you that does know. Because I wonder how much knowing about it and it being on your mind
No,
and
because
knowing it's
like
there.
the reason I went in is because it was so bothersome.
Exactly.
Even before.
So it's going to be affecting you the whole time, but like how much of a difference would there be?
I know.
The psycho.
Well,
part?
at least I'm glad that I know what it is. so I don't
Absolutely.
have to
No,
stress out.
absolutely. So the prognosis, you gotta like
The prognosis
chill.
is I'm going to be fine. Don't sing for a week, but
Just a week, okay.
just a week.
But now you don't even have to go on vocal rest.
Right. I was like, do I
Good.
have to go on vocal rest? She's like, you don't want to strain your voice because I knew I had these like 2 podcasts
No
I'm
Coachella.
recording today. But yeah, she's like, but just go based more on feel. Like
Good.
she seemed super laid back about it. I was like, do I have to come in to
You
like
were reading her vibe.
do I have to like come in again in 2 weeks to make sure everything? I wouldn't worry about it. She's like, just so
Good.
I'm like, okay, that's weird. Like she was really taking it nonchalantly. Maybe she was trying to play into the.
She's either fantastic or terrible.
Yeah, that's
at her
right.
job.
That's right. Anyways, I digress. So I just that whole experience just made me like think about how, because when I was at Coachella and when I was at Summit at Sea, it was like I'm not a partier. Like I am not a partier to begin with, you know, but
Not according to the week you just described.
but like there is an element of not even being able to keep up with like average partying when you're an artist.
What a sentence. Being able to keep up with average partying. You know what's funny is my 42-year-old friend
But
back
also
home
maybe because I'm
was
not
just
in my
saying that to
20s.
me.
Yeah.
Well, also no, it speaks to your awesome life. Like
awesome
what an
life?
experience that
What do you mean?
that's so cool that part of your job is like having to find the energy to do fun stuff.
Yeah, that's
Right?
true. Yes, that's true.
Isn't that awesome?
I like that attitude.
It doesn't mean it's not work finding that energy.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's not sucking you dry, and it doesn't mean if you go into the situations without your cup full enough, you're gonna suffer some effects from it. But like that's kind of a cool,
That's true.
especially afterwards. It's like that's cool though.
That's true. That'll be fun to like look back at when I'm
Exactly.
90.
Like
Yeah.
if I had to get up for something,
Right. Had to get up to fucking party.
it's to go to Coachella.
Oh my
It's
God.
fun. Did you have fun at Coachella?
Yeah, it was super
Would you
fun.
go again?
No, like here's the thing though. The truth is that
No, I don't want to hear that.
You don't
Tell
want
me
to hear the truth?
something- yeah, I'd rather
Are you
tell me
sure?
something
Are
fake.
you sure?
No, all right.
Okay, I'll tell you the truth. I didn't go to Coachella. Okay, in case you
Tell me more.
In case you didn't know, there's a whole swath of mostly influencers who say they're going to Coachella, but they're not going to Coachella. They don't even step foot inside the festival because they don't have a ticket to the festival.
Yeah,
There's
it's
so
super
many
expensive.
surrounding parties and events and networking opportunities that happen around the festival. Most people are going to the festival too, but I didn't get a ticket, and I wasn't about to drop like
I love
$4,000
this.
on a last-minute ticket. But my friend was like, "I think I'll be able to get you into like all of the networking events and parties. Just come with me." So that's what basically happened.
Perfect.
Yeah, so we were booked and busy like all 3 days at various events, but none of them were the actual festival.
This speaks to.
And I was on stage like 2 feet away from Diplo. Like had some pretty fucking like cool experiences.
Which was not at Coachella.
Which was not at Coachella. Which was at that was at the Nylon Party. So like that's one of like the most exclusive whatever Coachella adjacent events.
It's fascinating to me. Obviously, the vapid nature of. I'm just gonna blame like social media's obsession with this thing and
Yes.
to like just be. And first of all, good on you for recognizing the way to essentially like use that in an extremely effective way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But
What do
also,
you, just like the the social media aspect.
exactly. You read this is what's going on. I can use that's perfect. That's what you have to do. But also like shout out Coachella for getting so big that you can be on stage with Diplo and not even be at Coachella.
That's so true. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, Ty Dollar Sign. Like at the next night, we were at the Neon Carnival after party, or not after party, the Neon Carnival party, which was kind of like the after party, and it's like another mini Coachella. It's like this outdoor carnival, huge, super fun. Apparently, everyone was there from like Rihanna to I don't know, like so many people. And
Rihanna was at the fake Coachella.
it's called Neon Carnival.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Which is not
And-
fake Coach, so they don't advertise themselves as fake Coach.
And then
They should not do that.
Ty Dollar
Neon
Sign.
Carnival.
Ty Dollar Sign was performing randomly, and
Hell yeah.
yeah, and he looked at me, from the audience and like performed one song directly to me.
The whole song?
My friend Heather will claim that he was performing at her, but I was like, I'm right. I think he's looking at me.
First of all,
babe.
Ty has very pretty eyes. Were you locking with his very, very pretty eyes? Did you get to see those beautiful baby blues staring right back at you?
He was like not that close, but I would say yes to that.
You could listen. I could make Ty, if Ty from me to
Wait,
Ty
did you
over
work with
in.
him?
Oh yeah, I've worked with Ty.
Okay, let's go back then. Let's go back to Atlantic. Okay, so you're tell us about this. Take us to the moment you're working with Ty Dolla $ign. How is he?
Ty. So Ty was a writer. Ty wrote. Well, his first big hit as an artist was Paranoid. But before that's what like made him like kind of viable as an artist, which is a great song. Great song. But before that he was signed to APG. He was signed to Mike Caron, who was the executive who kind of oversaw the whole thing we were at. He was signed to Mike as a writer. And Ty wrote, I think he wrote Toot It and Boot It.
I didn't realize that. Okay.
He wrote
so he kind of got his start more as a writer.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people did. That was and still is a very, very viable like sort of path. And Mike would have a saying. He would tell people he'd bring creatives in, and they would consider themselves whatever they considered themselves. I'm a writer, I'm an artist, and he would sort of just look at their whole situation, trying to figure out. And a thing he would say to a lot of them very frequently was like, "Yo, write songs and use whatever you get from that to fund your artist career. Because being an artist is expensive. Being a writer is a lot cheaper, and you can make money doing that if you're a really good songwriter. That's you used to anyway."
Right. You used to.
Shout out the apocalypse currently happening.
Oh, AI.
But anyway, but that's what he would traditionally say. So Ty started as a writer, like a lot of people did, and he had a bunch of really big songs. He was very popular as a writer. He would come in a lot. Ty was so fun to work with. The most fun thing. Okay, so Ty, what he would do a lot with the other engineers, and I always loved working with him. He would go in the booth, and he would tell you to put auto-tune and chromatic. And what that means is all notes in the scale are now available.
This is how it always should be, I think. But anyways.
You purist.
Okay.
You purist.
Yeah, for sure.
So he would say put it in chromatic. And that wasn't the style for the kind of music Ty was writing.
Right.
But he would go in the booth, and then he would take out his phone, and he'd have piano keys on it, and he'd have you play the beat, and then he'd just hit a note, and he'd sing a note, and he'd go, all right, take out F sharp, and he'd sing, and he'd play a note, and he'd go, take out A sharp, take out G, and he would just build the scale out exactly how he knew he was going to be doing the harmonies, the whole melody that he already had in his head. And then he would, part of that was him being really adept musically, and part of it was also he didn't trust the engineer to get the tune right.
Right. Oh my God, that's fascinating.
Because it's also a common, like for writers, artists, everyone.
So annoying.
If you go in a studio, if the engineer doesn't have the tune right, you're just, rip off that fun.
Right.
Meanwhile, the engineer's sitting over there sweating, like, I swear to God, I put it in mixing key. I don't know what's I'm playing around.
Right. And half the time, the engineer is probably right. But yeah.
I'm going to answer that depending on who's in the room with me. If it's a writer, I'm going to say, the writers, obviously. If it's an engineer, I'm going to be like, yeah, bro.
Fair.
But
so that's interesting. So he would build it. So he basically would build the whole, like, what notes needed to be in the audio.
He just knew, and then he would always, because Ty was always
no matter what scale it was in. I mean, no matter what key it was in.
He knew theory and he knew how it all worked, but it was his way of like knowing. Because also too, if you were really deep into harmonies, you would add accidentals, which are notes that are deliberately out of the scale. And if you knew you were going to be doing that, you just tell the engineer ahead of time, I know F sharp isn't in this key, but add it anyway because I'm going to sing it, and I don't want it to when I try to sing it. Like I want it to sound right. So it's just his way of heading that off. The other fun thing Ty would do is the way he wrote songs. His lyrics is a lot of guys freestyle bar to bar. They'll just like hear the melody and run it back, run it back, run it back, and then they finally say a lyric. Keep that, and then the engineer would add one more bar into the loop after that, so the guy could hear what he just did, and then an open space after it, so he could freestyle that until he figured it out and build the whole song that way. Very common way to write. And Ty would do that, except while doing that, he'd be in the booth and he'd be looking at all his like boys and just everyone in the room. And depending on what the vibe was, I mean, if he was writing like a romantic song, this isn't what he would do. But it was the kind of song where it was like meant to be like a party fun song.
Yeah.
He would just like keep trying different lines until he got the right kind of reaction they got from him. And he'd be like, all right, that was the one, keep that.
That
and then going
is such
after
a good
it. So he was almost like
Yeah, he had his focus group like right there in the studio.
Thank you. He could focus group it right there, so he kind of knew.
I love that. So who was in the studio with him?
It was his friends, security, other writers, sometimes other producers, sometimes A&Rs, but a lot of times Ty would wait to write till super late at night after the A&Rs would leave. And then obviously the engineer. Listen, the A&R's got meetings at 10 a.m. the next day. Ty doesn't, so he can. They would try to stay up late.
I feel like most people don't like having A&Rs in the room, right?
Man, that's.
We could do a whole
I
wouldn't want to have the
A&Rs
A&Rs in the room. It's too much like suit pressure.
I will say the only. I'm not going to say the only. A pro to having them in the room is depending on your relationship with them and depending on the specific purpose of that session. If the purpose of the session is a thing they set up for, like a thing they need and they're trying to get, like a placement for a movie, or like you were brought in as a writer for an artist and it's their relationship.
Okay.
Like if. It may be a positive to have the A&R in the room if, like, you need to make them happy in order for this song to get pitched.
Okay.
So, like, you may not have as much fun creatively if they weren't there, but wouldn't it suck if you went down this whole creative road, then they hear it later over email and are like, bro, you missed. That is not at all. Wouldn't it have been nice if they'd have been in like, what are y'all? That's not at all what they're going for. So that's the argument. Or if you can put up with it, good for you, because now, maybe you can. That's when it would work out, I guess.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you can deal with them. I love you, A&Rs.
You don't have, I don't think, maybe we have A&Rs watching. Yeah.
Everyone is watching.
Everyone's watching. That's true. We are number 17 in society and culture. Hey!
Yeah, congrats. That's amazing.
Oh my God.
Ty would do his punchline stuff. Ty, he was super fun to work with, and you always got lost in his eyes. You didn't get lost in his eyes?
I did. I should think.
Or is that of his eyes? Aren't they not as sparkly as they used to be?
It was a bit far.
Okay.
I can't.
Yeah, I was in the room. I was literally in the room with him. Through the booth, like, through the glass.
Okay. Why are his eyes so special?
He's got really pretty eyes. I don't know. Look up his eyes.
Okay, Ty Dolla $ign, you better be listening. You better like DM me after this.
Tell me if he's gonna feel real uncomfortable with how many compliments I'm giving his eyes.
I know. Will he remember you?
Ty, if I met Ty right now, he'd probably be like,
oh yeah.
And then if I said like APG or he'd probably be like, you know what he'd do because he's a nice guy? He'd be like, oh yeah, bro. And he'd do that, and then that's probably what it would be.
Yeah, that's rad. So who else were you in the studio with when you were there?
Oh my God. I got to work with a lot of different people. The whole era at that studio, the run it kind of had was that or a lot of what we did was that early. It's funny, a lot of what we did is currently, it seems to be anyway, based on the algorithm, having a bit of a resurgence right now, and it's that early 2010s dance pop stuff.
Right.
Because the biggest credit I have on my engineering discography is the song Timber.
Okay.
By Kesha and Pitbull.
Yeah.
I think last I checked, in terms of sales. That's because I think it's Diamond.
Okay.
But that is pretty. That song is a good sort of indicator about the kind of stuff that came out of that studio.
Right.
It was that kind of stuff. We did a lot of Flo Rida stuff. That all came out of that studio.
You had some stories about Flo.
I've worked with Flo a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, I got to work with him a lot. Flo was Flo was great. I once was standing. Oh man. Flo was a lot of fun because he used to bring the craziest other people to sessions. He would have meetings during sessions. He was always super productive.
Meetings.
He would have business meetings. He would get haircuts during sessions. He wasn't alone for that. Haircuts during sessions are very, very common.
Really?
Very common. Having the barber come through, you're in the room. Oh no, that reminds me of another Ty Dolla story. After I was working with him, speaking of having people come in through the room, there's a song. I wish I could. It's escaping me right now. There's a song he has that he did at our studio. Vince was his engineer at that time. Shout out Vince, Invincible, if he hears this. Vince was engineering him because Vince is the one that told me the story. But and you can hear it in the song. He's getting a tattoo.
Flo is or Ty Dolla $ign?
Ty.
Wow.
Ty's getting a tattoo because he wanted to get his tattoo. So he had it was actually an SM7. I remember the setup that we had, and he was sitting at the SM7 they had in there, and he's getting his tattoo over here, and Vince is over in the engineer chair just like. Okay, I guess is there something maybe I can edit this out later.
Oh my God! Wait, while he's recording,
yeah,
vocals?
And it's in if you listen to the song, you can hear it. You can hear like a bzz in the
background.
Which
song?
That's the thing.
Oh
I wish I could
shoot!
remember
Okay,
the song right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
If I can remember before you put this out, you can put it in the comments.
We'll put it in
or
show
something.
notes. Yeah.
But anyway, so it wasn't uncommon. Like you have to have two guys come through. Flo would get haircuts in the studio all the time.
Okay.
He had Floyd Mayweather come through once.
Oh shoot!
That was when Floyd was like he was still fighting, and he was Team Money, TMT. There was 18 Sprinter vans in the parking garage of that building that night. There were
Wait,
like
full
dudes
of
in the
people?
lobby. Yeah, dude, there was like 30 people downstairs in the main hallway, in the lobby of our
Floyd's
Floyd's
entourage.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Then there were like at least a dozen more. Then there were in the foyer of the studio and the little entry, there were like 3 more dudes. And then in the studio itself, which like fire code is probably like 20, maybe 30. We had his team in there alone was at least that many. And then
crazy.
Flo did not roll with a tiny entourage.
That's crazy.
And I was there. Sitting in the middle.
Plus Ryan.
Just like, you want me to run it back?
Well, they would like go out to the club and come back, right?
Yeah, that was a common thing because Flo, like, listen, he was a professional. Mm-hmm. He was making music for the club. Mm-hmm. So he comes to the studio.
To go do research.
He comes to the studio and he hears the beats and the songs that, like, you know, the label is thinking about or that the writers have been writing and working on. He, you know, I like this, I don't like this, yada, yada. And then they work on it, he records some stuff, and about like 10, 11 or so. None of this is discussed with you, though, before, and it's never, ever said out loud,
Like
ever.
to the engineers.
Ever. To anyone.
Okay.
But you learn it after years of it just happening around you. But then all of a sudden you look up.
Like, were there other musicians, like instrumentalists in the room too?
Sometimes producers would come through.
Okay.
Flo, like, depending. If you were a real big producer, it was sort of a special session. Oh, I'm working with this producer tonight. But nights, and maybe they would go to the club together. But like the sort of regular, Flo's kind of like work mode. Like the producer sessions were like special things because it would be something that was preset before. But Flo was just like, I gotta work because whatever.
What kind of beat would you lay down for him to write over?
So the label would get together, whoever his team would get together.
Okay.
Folders.
Okay.
Beat packages. This is for every major label artist. Your team at the label is having there's camps. They're having meetings about.
So they already have stuff on.
Exactly.
Okay.
There is a curated list of we like these beats. And then some of them maybe have been written over. We like these songs written to these. These are the concepts we're thinking of. And then you play it for him. You get his feedback, and you guys kind of figure out as a team. That's how major label artists kind of have to work.
Yeah, but wait a minute. But when he's in the booth like freestyling, what's that then? Because nothing's written.
Flo actually doesn't do that.
Oh,
Flo doesn't bar to bar freestyle. At least he didn't back then. And if he does not, I haven't worked with him in years, but I don't know if he does that now. But he didn't back then. Flo actually loved sitting at the booth when he would write his verses. He would sit at the console and with his yellow pad of paper. And I would get up. Thank God I didn't have to, because at that point you're just playing DJ. He would just reach over and press spacebar twice, because spacebar wants to stop, spacebar once again to play it, and it would loop back to beginning. So he would be he would be writing with his pencil. He used a pencil. He'd be writing, and with his huge sunglasses and his tight T-shirt and his chains, and he's there in the studio, and I'd be sitting over there on my phone.
But did any of
those
ideas get recorded?
Yeah, and then whenever he was done,
but see, he would remember them in his head.
He's stuff. Yes.
Okay.
And like sometimes he would go in first, and a lot of writers do this, or artists, they'll go in and do melody pass, and then what they're listening back to is the beat with their melody over it, and they're writing to that. Sometimes, other times not. Other times he just knows the flow he wants to. Start it there with flow. But he would just do that with he would know his lyrics, and he would go and he would just record them. Recording Flo was great. Recording Flo was boot camp for engineering. It was boot camp. He was fast as hell, and he knew exactly what he wanted. And Flo was my test, by the way, to become an engineer. With the test I had to pass Flo Rida.
Oh, from internship to engineer?
That was it. Oh. His current engineer, JP. JP was my kind of mentor, the guy who taught me engineering. JP was his engineer. JP was the guy who did he did Good Feeling, he did Wild Ones, he did Whistle, if you remember those. For those really, really big ones. I came along shortly after that for the ones that weren't as big. But anyway, it was like 3 in the morning. It was like 1 in the morning. And I'm chilling at the counter in the break room, or where we get coffee machine and everything. And JP just pokes his head around the corner, because around the corner is Studio A. And he's just like, "Hey Ryan, could you Q&A real quick?" And I assumed food order, because I'm the intern.
You're in it? Okay.
So I grabbed the pad of paper and I get the pencil and I'm gonna go in the room and because I'm an intern. And I walk in and it's dark as hell. And there's a shitload of dudes all around the room. And it's Flo, so they're all big guys too. Flo's a big guy, and Flo rolls with dudes who are in the gym with him. Okay. So and it's dark as hell and loud as hell, because the beat's playing, and Flo is in the booth with one single light over the top of his head, literally walking back and forth, staring past everyone right at me. He's just looking like a shark going back and forth in his tank. His head's even down.
Oh my God.
And I just immediately get the sense like I don't think I'm in here for a food order. And JP's sitting at the chair, which is in the center of the room, and I walk up to him, and I kind of, it's loud as hell, just some four on the floor, pop dance beat, just blasting. And he like notices me, and he's eating. He's
JP's
so casual.
eating.
JP's eating. He's so casual. He's so good. JP is so good. I can do a whole podcast on how good JP is. And he's so casual. He just gets up. He's in. He's like, all right. And he like gets up. And he just motions at the seat. I have been thinking about this moment nonstop for like, at this point, minimum months.
Wait, but had you ever engineered anything before?
Yeah. Because the whole thing is you on your own.
On your own.
Because you're an intern,
but never
you're always
with
trying.
an artist live.
No, they would never trust an intern to do that.
Right.
But it's good now. You always hear about guys like who
Like
got
that's
their
the
shot,
moment. Okay.
and I guess this was me figuring out
my
this
God.
was it. And he just motions at the chair, and I'm like realizing this is it. And so I just like set the pad down and like get in the chair, and I punch him. I'm like, he's in the booth. Sorry, are we going? All right, let's go. That was it, and then we're off. Then I'm like, okay, remember to press start there, and that's 3 is to record. Okay, yeah.
3 is to record.
And you're coming in after the right here, and JP's like, just go, bro, just go, just go. You better just. I'm like, yeah, okay. I last about 5 minutes, maybe 10, before JP has to tell me the story. He's like, all right, bro, thanks. It's 10 minutes of like, nah, bro, punch me in. No, not right there. No. What were you even? No, bro, stop. No, not like that. All right, run it back. Nah, bro, that ain't right. Bro, no. It was 10 minutes of just like.
What are you doing that he's saying no to?
I'm punching him in the wrong spots. I'm not saving the take he wanted.
shoot. Yeah,
I'm not stopping when he wanted me to stop. I'm taking forever to make an edit and drop down what he wanted to keep.
Yeah.
He said this, but I thought he meant that, so I did another thing, and he doesn't realize that that's what I thought he said, so now there's a whole miscommunication.
Right.
That's what's happening.
Okay.
And about 10 minutes in, JP's like, all right, thanks, man. All right, you can go wait outside. And I just skulk out of there. My shoulders are just like head down, like the Michael Cera meme for Arrested Development. And I go back to the counter in the coffee break room. I'm just sitting there. I'm just leaning over. I'm just like, it's just like, okay, thank God I got that job at the car dealership because I can keep doing that. Obviously, maybe it's been internships. It's Universal. Maybe they might be having some. Maybe they have some.
Right.
But that's what's going through my head
For
like an
totally
hour.
Failed. Okay.
At least. JP, I don't know. JP recounted, and I recounted this story later at the bar. He doesn't fully remember all of it. But then JP comes out about an hour later, and I'm just like, he leans up next to me. And he's just so casual. He pops down next to me. He goes like, hey, man, great job. You really hung in there for a while. I don't think I've had anyone go that long. Good. So I'm going to hit you. We'll see when we get you in here. All right? Great job.
Whoa. See, I knew where this story was going because you eventually were head engineer at Atlantic, so I knew you didn't get fired that day.
I took over for JP eventually.
That was a shocker in that moment. Huh?
And it also prepared me. It was a microcosm of. So working when I eventually I didn't go on to work with Flo for years after that. I had to work with other people before I ever eventually worked with him.
Okay.
Because that was just when I got hired as an engineer. I didn't go to work with him again for a while.
So it was just that working with him was so hard, so challenging for every engineer that even though you felt like you were messing up the whole time, it was still better than ever.
The thing with him was so the first time I did work with, not the first time. The first time I worked with him, and many times after that, until like I finally got comfortable with him, and we developed a rapport. Was you would spend the whole session convinced you were just massively screwing up, and then at the end of the session, and this did happen in my very first session with him because they were trying to find someone who could hang with him, and I was just the next guy up. I was the next meat in the grinder going down the line.
Yeah.
And I thought I had just gone through I was getting ready to get spit out because I just gotten yelled at. And this was years after that trial that I just talked about.
Oh.
Years after that. I've been an engineer for years by this point. I think I'd already had the timber credit by this point.
Okay.
I definitely did. This is way after timber. But I still wasn't a very good engineer then. But Flo just ripped me apart the whole session. I was not fast enough. I did not understand what he needed.
So do you think you learned a lot by working with Flo?
He was boot camp.
Okay.
The engineer I was starting to work with Flo, and the engineer I was like when him and I finally stopped working together, years after that, drastic, 100% different. Since then, because I was head engineer, part of my job was assigning engineers to different roles and like kind of that's scheduling and stuff. So when I stopped working with Flo, I had to like pick who was going to take over, and that was a whole thing because it was like, you're about to become way better, but you have to already be pretty good going in.
Right.
So here's...
And you have to be ready to, like, take the beating and, like, learn from it. Okay.
And it wasn't just Flo. It was sort of also indicative of that kind of recording in general. You were going to get your ass kicked. But, you'll get better. Hopefully. If you hang, you'll get better. No, it was just trial by fire. That's how we did it.
Right. That's so fascinating to like know that like even at the major label recording that there's just some intern like getting ready to like record like the most one of the biggest artists.
My first night as an intern, I shut the place down. I was the last one in the building.
Okay.
My name was not on a single piece of paperwork. I didn't sign a thing. It was literally just like, oh, he's an intern now. And I was the last guy in the building that night.
Wait, you locked up.
The guy
I
was being trained by the head intern. His name was Drew. I haven't seen that guy in forever.
What happened to him, I
I
wonder?
have no idea. I'd be so curious. He was a good dude. He was a good dude. But he was like...
The head intern? There was a head intern?
There was a head intern. That was Drew. He got hired to be engineer shortly after I came on. I think it was hired to be his the replacement intern. And then But anyway, he trained me, and we were the last two in the building. And he was like, all right, bro, remember, just there, lock up when you leave. I'm out. And it was like 3 in the morning, and I was like... Well, I'm about to leave Atlantic Records right now. Push the button on the elevator. Yeah, it was the Wild West, man.
Yeah.
Which is the music industry. That was years ago, and I've learned since then the music industry is very much still the Wild West.
Right. I guess it is. Like, and it does feel to me even now that there are no rules, there is no path. Like, you just kind of have to, like, everyone's kind of making it up as they go along.
100%.
Especially now. Like
even more so now. There were way more rules then than now.
Yeah. Well, in terms of what?
How things work, how the machine is supposed to function, the tried and true methods for
breaking an artist, someone.
What is a hit, how to make a hit. If you do this and this and this and follow this path, there was never ever a sure thing. There was never at any point in the music industry a sure thing, but ever. But it's way more fuzzy now.
Yeah,
it's so much more like, yo. Because, like, even, like, I was in a major label studio, and it felt like the Wild West. Now, you don't need to be a major label to play the same game major labels play.
In fact, you can literally be a no-name. You can produce your own shows. Like, you don't need to be signed to an agent. You can rent out venues, produce your own shows, make your own fan base.
And compete at the exact same level as any industry standard.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's wild, dude. It's crazy
which
out
is
here.
Cool, which is, like, exciting, like, from the artist's perspective.
We're the dog chasing the car that was always like, democratization. It shouldn't just be old white dudes in a boardroom deciding everything. It should be...
The fans. This is it, I guess. But now it's not. Is it the fans or is it the freaking algorithm?
It's the algorithm. It probably is still the old white dudes. It just doesn't look like it anymore. We solved it. We're gonna get assassinated.
But I guess they would say the algorithm is the fans. But like, I don't know.
I feel very manipulated when I'm interacting with the algorithm.
Very manipulated.
Anytime I'm on anything with the algorithm, I'm feeling super manipulated.
Right. And also,
is it just me?
Yeah, like, and also, it's still money wins because if you have money to like push out your posts, then they'll get seen to more people, but
it was, and the truth is it was probably always that to a degree, but the machine, in order to keep the facade going,
the machine I guess gave you money.
The machine was an investor.
Yeah.
But in order to keep the facade going, the machine would also it would find the kid from the other side of the tracks and bring him in and put him around talented people, him or her. And put them around talented people and bring there were legitimate so many stories of that, and I was like, that can't ever happen again. But like now that it's so much more wild and open, there's no like if anyone with money can do that, and there's no barrier to entry anymore, because like it used to be, it didn't matter how much money you have. If Hollywood wasn't messing with you, it was like, good luck, you can't compete with them. Now you can. Right. If everyone with money can compete.
Isn't this like the Met Gala criticism this year? Like,
it is.
Bezos and like Lauren Sanchez is trying to like buy their way into cultural relevancy. But like it is gross that we're kind of controlled by like the tech oligarchy now. It's kind of disgusting to me.
It's extremely disgusting. Are we trading one thing for another?
What do you mean?
Well, were we always controlled by some kind of oligarchy?
Right.
And now it's the tech bros intern. We handed over to them for whatever reason.
Oh God, so depressing.
Or is it getting worse? Did we have more freedom before and now are we handing it over to them through our phones?
God, well, this is an existential. This is another podcast. This is another episode.
If I had a mic, I would drop it.
Oh, yeah. I guess I got us on a tangent with that.
I knew it was going to happen.
Oh, my God. I can't help myself.
It's okay. I think it was a good I feel like it was a good way
little
to
tie-in.
Yeah. What a good way to tie. It wouldn't be a Ryan and Sumi conversation if we didn't eventually complain about the patriarchy.
That's very true.
Come on.
About the patriarchy. Fuck yeah, I love it. I love it. Which, it's funny because we've disagreed about the patriarchy before.
Yeah, no, I don't believe the patriarchy exists.
No, he does.
White men need more. No, I'm not going to say.
Oh my God! Don't even joke about that.
We've just you and I have had some great debates.
I guess there's a lot of nuances.
Though I will say, I think a lot of our disagreements usually, by the end of it, we would find out it was usually because you or I misinterpreted a thing way back, and you thought I was saying something way worse than it was, or I thought you were saying something way worse.
Yeah,
Because it usually came out that we ended up pretty close to the same side by the end.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, you meant. Oh.
Okay, in case the listeners don't know, we did a whole podcast. It was like a season.
That's a great. Yeah,
it was a season.
We did.
Called. Do you remember what it was called?
WTF. I shouldn't ask beforehand. Can we curse on the Dream?
We can curse.
We can curse?
We can curse.
It was called What the Fuck Do We Do Now?
But it was Ryan. What the bleep do we do now?
Yeah. Depending, do you edit it?
He's like, I don't know.
Who edits it?
I have an editor. So
you have an editor.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry to put you on the spot. You gotta have your editor put in the bleep.
Yeah, right.
And keep the part in about me explaining the bleep.
Absolutely. We'll put the bleep. Yeah, and where we just ranted about the state of the world for like a good 3 months.
We would, and do you remember what was always ingredient number 2 in the What the Fuck Do We Do Now soup? It was ranting about current events and...
Wait, that was such a good podcast. Dang.
And it was the Sumi's dating life.
Well, was it really?
Yeah.
Did we talk about that a lot?
Yeah.
We tried to bring it back to politics.
It was just so fun because we mixed it with basically what was going on in our current lives.
Yeah.
And you loved...
Somehow I was the target, not your marriage.
But
I'm sure your wife would have been happy about that.
I think that came up a few times too.
We did talk about it.
There was even an episode I had to clear with my wife before we put it out.
That's right. Okay, everybody go check out What the Bleep Do We Do Now?
Let him bleep it. You say it. Give him one clean.
What the fuck do we do now?
Great. Perfect.
No, those were some fun episodes. If you want to feel not alone, yeah, that was fun.
That was the point, to feel not alone.
Yeah. Which we could bring back.
I'm down.
We could do.
You just tell me when. Sumi's so busy now, guys.
Sumi's
She's
really
got this
busy.
whole podcast.
Yeah.
Jesus, I'm over there. Listen, I'm over at my little studios. Whenever.
Just waiting.
Just waiting.
Just waiting for Sumi.
She'll call. The SpongeBob and the diner meme. Just my coffee. I told you that would happen. You remember I told you that would happen?
Yeah, you did. But it's crazy because it's just, you're right. It's nonstop. It's like, I don't even know how to keep up with everything.
Oh, you want to be an artist? I hope you don't like being in the studio and making music.
I know.
You're not going to be doing that.
I know.
That is something that didn't change. I learned that truth back in the Machine days.
Mm-hmm.
I learned it back then. It was Flo's guy. He's got to go work out. Mm-hmm. And then he's got to go shoot a music video where he's going to be working out.
But he worked out because he wants to work out, right?
But it was all part of the artist thing. It was his image. The Flo Rida was a Flo Rida, and what I learned about him is he was a machine, just like every artist is a machine. And there's a person in there, just like there is with every artist. But what sells is whatever the artist is, and the person will contribute whatever they'll contribute to that. For some artists, it's
I'm
just
confused.
them.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
For some artists, like Rihanna is one that's kind of considered more. She's just hanging out. It's just Rihanna.
Right.
She's not. This is just her.
Right. Versus Beyonce is like
probably a much more cultivated. I've not worked with Beyonce, so I won't speak with any knowledge directly about how her camp runs. But she's considered more to be like they're putting this together.
Did you ever work with Rihanna?
One time I got to work with Rihanna one time.
Wait, tell us about that. Bring us into the room.
So I was working with Esther Dean.
Okay.
A lot. I was her engineer for a little bit.
Okay.
Which was super fun because Esther was working with Mike, and she needed an engineer, and I was kind of next man up at the time, and Esther and I got along. It was awesome. We're in Santa Monica right now. Esther had a studio 3 blocks from
tell
here.
everyone who Esther Dean is.
Esther Dean is a prolific songwriter. She wrote, I think her biggest might be Firework by Katy Perry. Mm-hmm. But she had an insane run. It's also with Rihanna. What was Rude Boy was her. Mm-hmm. I don't think she was an Umbrella. I don't think she might have come after Umbrella.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, look up Esther Dean is a phenomenally successful songwriter. Brilliant songwriter. And I got the pleasure of working with her for a little while, being her engineer. And one of those sessions we were at was also here on the West Side. It was, I think it closed, but it was the pressure of the podcast just makes me forget things. What was it? Windmark. It was Windmark Studios, which was Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis's old studio where they did a bunch of the Janet Jackson stuff.
Okay.
That closed, got rebought, branded as Windmark, and we were working there. Esther was there, and I came in. I knew I was coming there just to work with her. I didn't know anything else.
Yeah.
She wasn't there yet. I'm sitting in the no, Esther, sorry. This was a while ago. Esther had gotten there. So Esther and I are working together, and then they brought her beats. She's looping. I got headphones on, and then we're in one of the writing rooms at Windmark, and then the door opens, and because there's a mic in the room, Esther liked recording in the room. I heard the door open on my headphones, and I hear this voice from behind me go, "Hey, girl!" And I got up and I turned around and there's Rihanna standing there. She is stunning in person. Yeah. She is. I mean, the cameras don't. She is. She is a presence in person. Mm-hmm. That was my immediate takeaway. She was so nice. She went over and hugged Esther, and she immediately just turned to me and she goes, "Is this your new boy?" She came and she gave me a hug, and it was just me, her, and Esther, and we chatted for 2 hours. Yeah, chilling.
Chatting for a song or just chatting.
She was giving Esther they were having a camp, and I found this out after the fact. Good thing too, because I'd have been like, oh my God, Rihanna's coming. Thank God I didn't know.
But you would have been nervous.
Absolutely. Oh my God. Be cool. The fact that I didn't get jittery until after she got there. So they were just writing songs for her. She was there. Her and Esther had worked together for a while. So she was catching up with her friend, and she was like, okay, so for the new project, this is what I'm thinking. It was that kind of. Mm-hmm. And they chatted for a few hours, and then I think Kook, her vocal producer, who I at that exact same time was working with at Atlantic for a different artist. Literally earlier that day. I'd been at Atlantic earlier that day working with Kook for a different artist. Went to Windmark that night to work with Esther. And then after chatting with Rihanna for a few hours, Kook came in the room. It's me, Esther, and Rihanna. Kook opens the door. First, he's expecting to walk into a room with Rihanna to tell her, hey, girl, we got to go record. That's what he sees me. And his face, he just breaks because it's not at all. He's like, I was with him 3 hours prior to that. And he goes Ryan? Rihanna hears him and stands up and goes, Kook. And then he has to switch. This is also, I'll make this brief, but Kook, one of Kook's big things, I stole so much sauce from Kook. He is legendary vocal producer. And he is so good at what he does. I stole so much of what I do from him. Thank you, Kook. But one of the things he does is he makes sure the artist has a very curated time around him because he wants to have them in the right headspace for recording all the time. But the vocal producers out there, so important. Do not neglect that. Your artists have to, if they're going to be singing and in a space. So he was going to go collect Rihanna and he was already.
What kind of stuff, what kind of environments did he put her in before and after? Or before, I
don't mean he wouldn't take her to a room or anything. I just mean how you talk to them. I want to be sent
to a spa or a sauna.
He never took it to that level. Okay. And it sounds like he was really screwing up by not. So Kook, Sumi's words of advice for you, congratulations on the great career. You could have been way more successful had you been taking Rihanna to a spa. You're doing it all wrong. Next time. Come to sue me next time. But anyway, it was just his mannerisms. He was because it didn't matter what kind of day he was having. It didn't matter if he was pissed that the mic hadn't been working a second ago and that no one had any of his stuff ready. He was very careful about when you deal with the singer, your energy has to be what it needs to be. Yeah. And it's not like I screwed his energy up or anything, but he was just oh my God, Ryan, what are you? And then Rihanna, and he was like.
It's oh yeah.
He got there quick. It's oh my God. So I had to quickly explain to him, I work with Esther. There's nothing. This is what. And he had to do some math. So that's how the Rihanna thing ended. But funny. Dude, she was so nice. We chatted about how annoying it was for her to never be able to go to a mall. She just earlier that day tried to go to the Grove. She loved the Grove. And she was she mentioned. But
did she travel with security?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. She literally said she got up to a certain, was it the Grove? I might be screwing, when Rihanna hears this, girl, I might be screwing up which mall you were saying. But she got up to a certain point in it. Might have been the Beverly Center. Okay. And they let her to turn around and leave. Because it was just, she was getting mobbed. She was getting, I think that the point when they had to leave, it was something about security for the mall was begging her to leave.
Wow. Okay.
We can't have you here, please go. And she was literally sad. And Esther was having to tell I'm sorry.
Right. No, that's
It was wild. I was wow, you get this actually.
What year was that around? I mean, I guess she
That
blew
would've been,
up like way long time ago.
14,
Okay.
15-ish.
Yeah.
Probably like pre-Anti. She was probably working on Anti when that was happening.
Yeah,
That was probably
yeah.
what they were curating for at that time. But yeah, that was cool. Rihanna was super nice and stunning in person.
Wow, I'm sure she'd be appreciative of that. So
She's
okay.
gonna be like, yeah, I remember that. Ryan was great.
Yeah. What are some of your what are your top 3 favorite memories from your experience at Atlantic?
Oh my God.
Or at least top 1. I don't that's a hard question though. So
Can I narrow it down just that it had to happen at Atlantic, or do I mean like just recording in general?
I would say recording in general.
Favorite?
Yeah.
Okay, there's no way I'm gonna pick one, but
Yeah.
I'll just briefly list off a couple that
Okay.
for some reason sit near the top. My wife and I are huge fans of T-Pain.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the recessional at our wedding was a piano ballad version of "Buy You a Drink."
No way.
I'm not kidding about that. It was one of the, and the piano. We pitched it to the piano player at our rehearsal for the wedding. We were like, because we're pick this very traditional pianos for this part of the. And then when you guys come down the aisle, we're gonna do this. And for the recessional, her and I looked at each other. We were like,
T-Pain.
"Can you do Buy You a Drink by
Oh
T-Pain?"
my God,
And to this
stop.
guy's
No
credit,
one
I
would
wish I
have
could
ever
shout him
thought
out
of
right
that.
now because we got married in 2016. So this was a while ago. But he was like, he just kind of like, "Oh yeah, I got you." Everyone, yeah, I do that kind of stuff all the time. And he immediately he was on a piano. He played immediately like the most gorgeous
Oh, that's
piano ballad version of
amazing.
"Buy You a Drink," and he played it outright. So anyway,
Wait, that's like a great cover series to just take
Yeah.
real hard hip hop songs and make them piano ballads.
there's probably some out there.
I'm sure.
If you look it up on
Yeah, I
YouTube, there's
know,
probably an
that's-
AI
that is
version of
really
that
obvious
right now.
Okay. Skip that.
AI
delete.
versions of it.
Go ahead.
Anyway, so I've always been my wife and I are both big fans of T-Pain, and I got to work with him once. It was him and Charli Puth was another. He was signed to Mike, and Charli was always at the studio.
So you
I
work
think
with
I might.
Charli a lot?
I think I might have had Charli's first session at Atlantic.
Okay.
He wrote "Slow Motion" for T-Pain. In fact, if you listen to "Slow Motion," T-Pain. Sorry,
Oh,
Trey Songz.
Trey Songs. Okay.
Charli wrote "Slow Motion" for Trey Songz.
Wait, slow motion for me. That
That's
one?
Juvenile.
No, that's. Oh, okay.
In slow motion. Sorry, I can't sing.
Neither can I apparently right now.
I can be. That one.
Oh, okay.
If you listen to that song, by the way, the backgrounds, the harmonies behind Trey's lead, that's all Charli. Those are Charli's.
okay.
Those are Charli's. But I think Trey also sang some too, but they kept Charli's in. Also, the reason I have credit on Timber is not because I recorded Kesha or Pitbull. It's because I recorded the songwriters, and they kept the songwriters' vocals backgrounds in.
Oh my
Happens all the time in big songs.
That's interesting.
Just wanted to briefly throw that in. That's how I got the Timber
that's
credit.
interesting.
I since later did get to work with Pitbull, but not on that song.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, I would work with Charli a lot, and like I said, I think his first session at Atlantic might have been me and him. It was like him and I in this session full of all these R&B dudes, and he's just this awkward white kid, and I'm just this awkward white kid. And we're both just he was like, "This is my first session, man." I was like, "You're doing great, dude. You got this. Song's awesome." And then Charli went on to explode. But yeah, I got to work with him a bunch, and one of the sessions that he got to do there was they brought T-Pain in, and him and T-Pain got to work together. And I got to engineer that session. And
So for being such a T-Pain fan, that was like a
dude,
moment.
so he was super into Twitch. He still is. He's huge on Twitch, right? And this was
Yeah.
years ago. This was probably 2018, I'm gonna guess. He was streaming on Twitch while he was at the studio. We were waiting for some edit to get made by one of the other producers or something. He had a minute, and so he just opens up his laptop and he starts. And I'm over on the couch on my phone because I was just waiting too, and he was just talking to some other people. And all of a sudden I hear him talking. He's got the headset on and he's doing that. And I look up and he goes I'm just in the studio right now and we got Ryan hanging over there. Hey Ryan, say hi to everyone. And he turns his laptop and I'm like, and he goes back to playing. I went home later that night and found out he was apparently 7 million people had just looked at me. He was giant on Twitch and I just
T-Pain or Charli Puth?
T-Pain.
Oh, T-Pain.
Giant on Twitch and was just playing and super funny. T-Pain is God, that was such a fun session. And that was the most memorable part. The reason that's so high on my list isn't even anything like that. They had the most fun music nerd discussion.
Yeah.
Because Charlie's a renowned Berkeley kid, music
Yeah.
nerd. He's known for that, and he loved having music nerd conversations. It's one of my favorite things about working with him was just listening to him go deep on that kind of stuff. And T-Pain is too. T-Pain knows harmony, and he T-Pain. He's T-Pain. He knows how that stuff works. And hearing those two just build a song together and talk about which harmonies work and why, and Charlie's naming the chord, and then T-Pain's coming over and saying why this one, what if we had this? Hearing them discuss that kind of stuff, like melodic structure and harmonic structure, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Right.
That was awesome. Moments like that were super duper cool.
Right. Being in the room with literally like the best.
Yeah.
That's rad. That's
That was way up there. So you asked for one. I said I was going to briefly name many, and then I just talked about T-Pain for a while. I don't know if that's my number one because I've also had a lot of, but that one was really fun.
Right.
Because I loved working with Charlie, and yeah, T-Pain was.
I love it. Well, we have talked for almost an hour. And
So sorry, everyone.
Could literally talk to you for days.
Me too.
So, yeah. So, no, this has been such a great conversation. I think we should definitely do a part 2 and maybe even sprinkle in some what the fuck do we do now episodes if we feel like it.
Make sure you bleep that. What's your editor's name?
I
just put you on the spot.
No,
What's his name?
I know. Well, we don't have like a specific
Oh,
editor.
you don't use, okay,
we
gotcha.
rotate a cast.
Like a guy.
We have
okay,
like a cast of editors. Yeah.
Well, dear editor, as you're listening to this, please put that bleep in there.
Put the bleep in. We'll put the bleep in.
I love it so much.
Yeah, we'll tell Laura, actually. Laura communicates.
Laura communicates everything. She
Laura.
helps set all this up.
Yeah.
Laura's great.
Okay.
Okay, this was
Ryan.
awesome. I'm so down for part 2. I'm down to do all that.
Amazing. Thank you so much. This was great.
Thank you.
Yay. By the way, do you have anything next in your career that you're most excited about? Oh, and actually, I want to end on this one question that I forgot to ask you. What advice would you have for like young creatives trying to like make it in a creative pursuit?
Ooh, what advice? Make sure you love the journey. Mm-hmm. Don't if all that gets you through, because being a creative, making it as a creative is brutal.
And there is no making it, right? Like,
Exactly.
Is there a destination?
Well, it depends. It's up to your own definition of it. Mm-hmm. So one piece of advice is you should have a definition of that. Otherwise, you're going to be chasing a dragon you're never going to catch. So you should have a definition of that, so that one day you can be happy.
Could it be? Could it be like a new definition every year?
You're never going to be happy though.
Oh, you think you eventually sit on your laurels?
I guess you can keep trying to accomplish things, but just don't tie it to your happiness.
Okay, fair. Yeah.
Right? That's the important thing.
Yeah.
But you should, there's nothing you should, trying to accomplish things is awesome.
Yeah.
But what sucks about being a creative is that it gets so closely tied to like your own. Making it as an accountant is less likely to break you as a human than making or breaking it in something like music or a creative endeavor. Sorry, accountants.
Yeah.
Maybe there's some out there that are just super into it, but it's more common with creatives.
Right.
So we are very susceptible to like when you don't make it or when just anything you create fails, it hurts.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that? And my biggest piece of advice would be this, like, make sure you're falling in love with the journey. Like, if your day-to-day sucks, but you just keep thinking about, bro, when I got the big house in the hills and I got the money and the cars or whatever that thing is, or when I have all the followers on whatever, when I'm getting so-and-so liking if that's what's doing it for you, you are going to suffer a lot. If you're someone who just has fun, and I meet people who don't mind the content creation part, they have a healthy relationship with it. They enjoy the fun parts of it and understand why they need to. Though I'm not worried about those guys. They're gonna be okay. They're gonna be able to adapt to whatever it is. But if you can't love the journey, bro, it's gonna suck. That's my advice.
I love that. I love that so much. And I heard a definition that just reminded me of one of my like best friends told me that like success is how well you solve your problems. And I was like, oh, that is actually kind of mind-blowing.
Oh, man. But then I have to constantly keep doing it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Because you could be the most successful
ends.
person in the world, but then you like can't get the peanut butter jar open. And now you're a failure.
Well, once you are like super successful, new level, new devil. There's always new problems, right?
It is eventually, I feel like eventually it comes back down though. Like I just love that image of someone like having conquered
jar?
the world,
Yeah.
and then he's at home and his assistant went home. Their assistant went home for the day, and they're just trying. I'm not gonna get this peanut butter. Throw it against I'll buy a new one. Anyway,
I love it. I love that we end there. Thank you so much, Ryan.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.